Did you hear that gasp in the courtroom? It rippled through the gallery the instant the clerk read out a name no one expected to hear in Sean Diddy Combs' sex trafficking trial: Prince Rogers Nelson. In a legal drama already stacked with A-listers and lurid allegations, the late Purple One's sudden cameo felt like lightning. Reporters scrambled for their phones. Lawyers exchanged glances that said, "Wait, Prince? How could an artist who guarded his privacy tighter than Fort Knox be connected to the darkest accusations in hip-hop?" That question is exactly why you clicked, and why you'll want to stick around until the very last line. Because tonight we're digging into two sprawling mysteries at once. First, the charges that could put a rap mogul behind bars for life. Second, the whisper that somewhere, locked away in a purple-lined vault, lies video proof of what really happened inside Diddy's most secret parties. And maybe the reason Prince isn't here to testify. Ready? Let's dive. But to understand how the courtroom became the hottest stage in music history, we have to start with the trial itself, and the bombshells already rocking Manhattan. Federal agents kicked this saga into overdrive when they raided Diddy's mansions last June, seizing hard drives, burner phones, and a small mountain of NDAs. Prosecutors claim the evidence supports a racketeering conspiracy that spanned 2 decades, funneled escorts across state lines, and weaponized blackmail to keep victims silent. Diddy, now 55, pleads not guilty and flashes trademark swagger as he strides past camera crews each morning. Yet the stakes are sky high. A conviction could mean life behind bars. If the charges sound familiar, thank Cassandra Cassie Ventura. She triggered the avalanche in November 2023 with a civil suit so graphic it trended for days before being hushed by a lightning-fast $20 million settlement. Many thought the hush money would make her vanish. It didn't. Under subpoena, she returned, voice steady, eyes fixed on the jury, detailing freak-offs, forced encounters, and a secret stash of tapes Diddy allegedly used for leverage. Day after day, her testimony has only grown more chilling. And then came the witness list. Security guards, corporate execs, Hollywood stars, plus one name from beyond the grave. The prosecution won't say why they want Prince on record, only that relevant evidence may be introduced. Cue speculation, overload. Was the purple genius an eyewitness, a victim, or the keeper of footage prosecutors desperately need? Whatever the answer, the mystery is thick enough to cut with a gold-plated letter opener. Speaking of footage, let's rewind to the wild nights where Diddy's power and Prince's property collided. Picture it. A sprawling Beverly Park mansion once owned by Prince, hired out, just for a night, to the man who defines excess. Hollywood blogger turned podcast King Jason Lee still can't believe what he saw when he stepped through those lavender-painted gates. Tyrese crooning in one corner, Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher giggling on swing sets in another, and a rule posted everywhere: no personal security inside. Lee later told fans, "That was the difference between a Jamie Foxx party and a Diddy party. Nobody could protect you once you went in." Now add Prince's own quirk: security cameras everywhere. Friends say he trusted electronics more than bodyguards. If walls could talk, Paisley Park would still be gossiping. So imagine this. Diddy throws a bacchanal on Prince's turf. Prince, who never attended these soirees, reviews the tapes later for insurance. Maybe he burns them to DVD, slips them in the notorious Paisley vault, and moves on, until whispers reach Diddy's ears that the Purple One keeps receipts. If you think that sounds paranoid, remember, Prince's entire career was a chess match over control of music, money, and information. Inside Paisley Park sits a climate-controlled bunker, rumored to hold thousands of unheard songs, and according to former engineers, boxes of mini-DV footage marked private. Prince treated that vault like a pharaoh's tomb. No map, no key, unless you were on a very short list. Industry veterans swear he collected footage of every tour rehearsal, backstage conversation, even random jam sessions. If he applied that same meticulous habit to parties at the Los Angeles mansion, then yes, tapes of Diddy's no security nights could exist. And consider motive. Prince didn't drink, didn't drug, and famously said, "I ain't got time for couch talk." If the parties grew wilder by the hour, The footage might be priceless leverage, especially if guests included executives Prince publicly battled. Which brings us to the corporate clash that turned two music titans into quiet adversaries. In the mid-90s, Prince waged open war on Warner Brothers, daubing Slave on his cheek and changing his name to an unpronounceable symbol in protest of contracts he called chains. The Guardian. He wanted his masters back. Warner wanted more albums. The standoff lasted nearly 2 decades. Cut to 2005. Sean Combs, always the businessman, signs a 50-50 joint venture, giving Warner Music Group half of Bad Boy Records' catalog. The press release crowed about the right financial structure to remain a force. Warner Music Group. For Prince, that deal was the devil in a pinstripe suit, proof that gatekeepers he fought were alive and well, now in bed with hip-hop's flashiest showman. Did it sour their friendship? Hard to say. They were never exactly close. But insiders noticed Prince politely declined every invite after the joint venture announcement, even when the party was at his own house. Coincidence? You decide. Meanwhile, the allegations surrounding Diddy were building to a pressure cooker boil, and Cassie's voice would be the whistle heard worldwide. Day 2 on the witness stand, and Cassie painted a tableau straight from a noir nightmare. Freak-offs staged in rented penthouses. Trays of powder passed like hors d'oeuvres. Male escorts lined up while cell phone cameras rolled. Staffers who tried to help her allegedly cried, then handed her hush gifts on Diddy's orders. Most shocking to jurors were the stills from that 2016 hotel hallway. A black and white blur of Cassie thrown to the floor, then kicked. The full video hit the public in 2024, forcing Diddy to issue a rare apology. Yahoo prosecutors argue it's just one glimpse of a hidden empire built on fear. And let's not forget the supporting cast. Former Bad Boy president Harve Pierre, dancer Lorianne Gibson, even Young Miami, who allegedly ferried parcels for the boss. Every name Cassie drops widens the blast radius and the potential witness pool. Yet perhaps nothing screams intimidation like the night a Lamborghini went boom in Kid Cudi's driveway. Cassie told jurors Diddy was livid when he discovered flirtatious emails between her and Kid Cudi in 2011. According to her, he vowed, "I'll blow that man's car up." Weeks later, Cudi's luxury ride erupted in flames while he and a friend sat inside the house. No one was hurt. Police never pinned it on anyone. But the timing spoke volumes. Cudi himself confirmed the explosion years later, eyes downcast, refusing to name names. The story now sits in the prosecution's narrative as proof that fear worked, and that Diddy was willing to send brutal messages to rivals or romantic threats alike. Fear, however, is a two-way street, and Prince, ever strategic, seemed to know danger was closing in. April 21st, 2016. The world froze as headlines blared. Prince dead at 57. Official cause? Accidental fentanyl OD. Medical investigators said he thought he was popping Vicodin, not a counterfeit laced with a synthetic 50 times stronger than heroin. Friends didn't buy it. Prince was the poster child for vegan living. No alcohol, occasional Tylenol. Clean living Prince doesn't just OD, they whispered. Fueling suspicion, his sister Tyka later revealed he'd been preparing her for 2 years. He said, "I've done everything I've come to do." Her voice cracked in the interview. "I was crushed." Entertainment Tonight, she also claimed he warned her he was in trouble, but never said why. If Prince did fear retaliation, over masters, over footage, over something we haven't even imagined, those farewell riddles now carry chilling weight. And that leads us to the question nobody can shake. Did knowledge of what happened at those parties cost Prince his life? Here's the theory, gaining steam on podcasts and Reddit boards. Prince records everything at the Diddy party because surveillance is second nature. Footage shows activities that could ruin more than Diddy, maybe executives, maybe politicians. Prince uses the footage as leverage in his own contract wars or simply locks it away. Someone finds out and sees a threat. Less than a year later, Prince is found unresponsive, alone, in an elevator at Paisley Park. Is that too cinematic? Maybe. But remember, prosecutors just linked Prince's name to real evidence. Until they explain why, conspiracy runs wild. And here's an eerie footnote. Diddy's legal team has already asked the judge to exclude any speculative references to deceased third parties. Translation: please don't let them play a video we can't cross-examine. The request was denied without prejudice. Court insiders say if the vault tapes exist, they could still surface. So what happens next? Strap in. The judge has issued gag orders, but leaks drip anyway. Sealed exhibits labeled PP Vault 03, subpoenas flying to Paisley Park's estate managers, even a rumored flight risk list for celebrities who might flee if tapes go public. Prosecutors hint at RICO charges expanding to include unidentified co-conspirators. Defense lawyers whisper plea deal prayers. If any video featuring Prince's cameras hits the evidence screens, the trial morphs from sordid to historic, on par with the Zapruder film or the O.J. Glove. It could redefine privacy, blackmail law, and music industry power plays overnight. And that brings us, finally, back to you. Just when you think the hard part is finding Prince's alleged tapes, another 21st century nightmare looms: deep fakes. Court spent the last 2 years scrambling to update evidentiary rules because an AI can now clone a voice or a face with frightening ease. Judges have already dubbed it the deepfake defense. So if prosecutors roll in a grainy mini DV clip from 2005, Diddy's lawyers will pounce. Your Honor, that's synthetic. Prove it isn't. To answer, the government is arming itself with a small army of digital forensic experts, people who can sniff out tampered metadata, inconsistent sensor noise, even phantom pixels invisible to the naked eye. Thomson Reuters calls this the AI evidence authentication gold rush. But the process is painfully slow. Every byte must show an unbroken chain of custody, and any compression artifact becomes a potential reasonable doubt. One legal tech blog warns that jurors, bombarded by news of deepfakes, are already primed to distrust video. If the tapes survive that gauntlet, though, they won't just rewrite one trial. They'll detonate an industry already locked in another high-stakes war. While headlines fixate on courtroom drama, a quieter battle rages over who owns the past and future of pop music. Prince's heirs are still sparring in probate over streaming rights, even suing Jay-Z's Rock Nation this spring for allegedly overexploiting Hit and Run, Phase 1 on Tidal. Essence. The estate has also flexed its muscle by blocking a 9-hour Netflix documentary it deemed sensationalized, insisting only its team can tell Prince's story using vault material. They're not alone. Michael Jackson's estate just sold a slice of his catalog to Sony for a jaw-dropping $600 million amid competing family lawsuits. Like law group lawyers call it the IP gold rush decade. Catalogs out-earn tours, and a single scandal can swing valuations by hundreds of millions. Forbes notes, Prince's trove is still worth north of $150 million and climbing as unreleased masters trickle out. Now imagine prosecutors unveil a verified Prince shot video that implicates industry titans. Overnight, valuations shift, estates panic, and every label's due diligence team hits DEFCON 1. The question of who controls the vault becomes more than a probate footnote. It's a financial earthquake that could reshape licensing deals, biopic projects, even royalty forecasts for decades. So whether you care about justice, technology, or the billions tied up in music rights, the next few weeks could redraw the map, and that brings us back to you. We've raced through mansions lit by purple floodlights, courtrooms crackling with scandal, and vaults rumored to hold careers, and maybe lives, in their dusty drawers. Along the way, we saw how two icons chose opposite paths. Prince, the relentless guardian of artistic freedom. Diddy, the mogul who built an empire on spectacle and control. Now the legacies collide in a federal courthouse where one man's freedom and another man's secrets might hinge on a single hard drive. Will the jury ever glimpse those alleged tapes? Did Prince really foresee the danger? And if the footage exists, could it blow open more than just this case? Drop your theories down below. Do you lean toward coincidence or conspiracy? Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next explosive update, because when music royalty and courtroom drama overlap, every day brings a brand new plot twist.